Coming to you from the all-new Live House in Hollywood, California.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to this week's episode of Pensado's Place. We've got lots of stuff for you, live events, giveaways. Let's get right to it, and then you'll meet our guests. Here's a quick reminder. Come meet super hit makers Luke and Beth Laird and Ross Copperman. Going to be at Summer NAMM Saturday, July 21st at 1 p.m. at the Music Center in good old Nashville, Tennessee. It's a special version of Pensado's Place Live. These guys are amazing. They have over 40 number one hits for giants like Luke Bryan, Lady Antebellum, Dierks Bentley, Casey Musgraves, Keith Urban, Kenny Chesney, and a whole ton more. And no matter what you do in the business, whether you're a songwriter, musician, engineer, producer, budding executive, manager, whatever, you'll get insights to success from this trio. You don't want to miss this. And beyond that, after the session, you also can meet them personally, and two guys named Dave and Herb. So we'll hang out in the Pro Audio Lounge afterwards. We'd recommend, don't miss this. Sign up at the makemusicexperience.com. Put in the code Pensado, and it's also free. Then the following weekend, Dave and I will be in Atlanta, Saturday, July 27th. It's IMSTAFESTA. It's going to be held at the SAE campus. Dave and I will have a fun keynote discussion, and we'll discuss winning ways for you, insights for you, tools you should use, and we're going to bring a lot of goodies to give away to help you achieve that success from companies such as FabFilter, Antares, PreSonus, Nugent, Melodyne, FL Studio, IK Multimedia, and a whole bunch more. Don't miss it. It's free. Come on out. We want to meet you, and a whole bunch of other good stuff will be going on at IMSTAFESTA, but you want to make that keynote speech starting at noon. Speaking of talented, our buddy Richard Furch has his masterclass available. You know, we talked to you about how international everything is now. Richard's worked with folks like Prince, Frank Ocean, Macy Gray, Outkast Tyrese, and his work combined with all those folks has over 1 billion views on YouTube. The masterclass has 3 hours, 10 chapters, and 5 bonus videos of gorgeously shot content. It features Asian megastar Jem and her monster hit Light Years Away. The course takes you from first files all the way to final mix, all with Chinese subtitles. It's full of tips, techniques, and philosophies you can use on any pop record. It's fun, it's easy, it's smart, it's got very cool reviews. Great for any producers, engineers, or mixers. Here's where you can check it out, at emixing.com. And if you use the code Pensado, of course, he's going to do you a big favor. So check that out. Good job, Richard. We've got this week's winner in the Axe.io sweepstakes. 2 more weeks to get into that. This week's winner is, drum roll, Matthew Loudon. Congratulations, Matt. Well done. The Axe.io ITL was last week, so you know how versatile this piece is. If you want to enter, remember, 2 more weeks. Go to ikmultimedia.com/Pensado. That's ikmultimedia.com/Pensado and get a chance to win. There's weekly winners. As always, take a moment, sign up for our newsletter, like and subscribe. And every month we charge our roving correspondent, Mitch Gallagher, to do something really interesting. So he took a deep dive into reverbs and delays and maybe some different ways you can do them to improve your mixing. So here's what we call Sound Advice, and it's presented by Sweetwater.
Hi, I'm Mitch Gallagher from Sweetwater. Welcome to Sound Advice. You know, there are a lot of ways you can combine delay and reverb in your mixes, and you may have a standard way that you like to work. You may set up a reverb as your kind of overall room sound, then route all your delays into it to create the effects that you want. There are a lot of different ways you can route those two effects. Let's take a look at some of the possibilities. I've set up a simple session here in Pro Tools where I've got a snare drum track and I've got a vocal track. And then I've got a number of different aux returns that have different delay and reverb combinations and routings on them. I've also got 2 different sets of those set up. One is in mono and one is in stereo, so you can hear the differences when you're working with a wider field and when you're working with a more narrow mono field. I'm going to start in mono. So in our first example, I've got my delay here coming in on one channel and I've got my reverb coming in on the second channel. So D-verb is here, H delay is here, and our signal is routing from a bus straight in. So it's going through the 2 of those in parallel or side by side. The signal is coming into them independently, and we can control them independently with the sliders down here. I'll mute the verb so we can just hear the delay. And now just the verb. And now we'll route in parallel through the 2 of those. One of the advantages of working this way is that we can pan things separately. So we could route the delay off to one side and the verb off to the other. There are a lot of possibilities there for creative soundscapes. But it's when we start routing delay into reverb or reverb into delay that things get interesting. Let's listen first to delay feeding into reverb. The signal is going through the bus, coming into our aux, it's hitting the delay, and it's being delayed, then the reverb starts after the delay hits. We get a little bit sharper attack when we do this because the delay is speaking more independently. If we route the opposite direction, first into the reverb and then into the delay, we get a subtly different sound. In this case, the reverb signal is being fed into the delay. So we're still getting the delay's sound because we have to wait until it's processed by the delay before we hear it. But at that point, we're actually hearing the reverb feeding into the delay, and it blooms more. It's not quite as articulate of a tone. Changing the routing not only affects the initial onset of delay and reverb, it also affects how the tails feed out. Whether you're hearing more of the delayed signal or more of the reverb signal, whether it's washier or more articulate. Now we can do the same thing in stereo. We can listen to our stereo delay and our reverb independently. And again, we could pan across the stereo field with both of those, but we can also listen to delay feeding into reverb in stereo. And reverb feeding into delay. It's one thing to hear the difference when you're working with a percussive sound like a snare drum. Let's listen to what happens when we work with a vocal track. We'll begin in stereo with our two processors in parallel.
Here they stand, together for all time, set in glass and stone.
There's clarity there because our reverb isn't processing the delay and vice versa. Now when we switch over to delay feeding into reverb, so our reverb is processing our delays.
Here they stand, together for all time, set in glass and stone.
And now with the delay processing the reverb.
Here they stand, together for all time, set in glass and stone.
I hope this gives you some ideas for exploring the creative possibilities of setting up different routings for your delays and reverbs. We all have our favorite ways of setting these up, but if you explore some of the different options, you may come up with some new textures and some new effects that'll work great in your mixes. Thanks for joining me for Sound Advice. I'm Mitch Gallagher from Sweetwater.
Hey everybody, welcome. Thanks for dropping by. We're not with my buddy Herb today, so I'm gonna try to do the best I can. We're here with my friend James Royo. James, good to see you, babe.
How you doing?
So if you're not familiar with James, let me read you some of his bio. Lean On, incredible song, probably the most played song that year, one of the biggest songs ever. My Hitta, Ty Dolla $ign, you did the whole album. Don't Tell 'Em, great song. Nick Jonas, Mariah Carey. You've been busy since I saw you last.
Yes, sir.
Last time we saw you, you were on the set with DJ Mustard.
Yes.
Lots happened since then, huh?
Yeah. Lots happened since then.
Yeah.
For sure.
I remember when Lean On came out, that was like one of the biggest songs ever, and you mixed that.
Yeah, that was a big song for me.
How did you go from Mustard to Lean On?
That was because of Mustard, actually.
Okay.
Ron Perry, who owned Songs Publishing at the time, he had Diplo as a client and Mustard. And Diplo was like, yo, who's mixing Mustard stuff? And he's like, hey, my boy James. So he connected us, and it was a blessing. You know, I had no idea the song was gonna be that big, you know. But
it was probably the biggest song of the year, wasn't it?
Probably. You know, and that's when Spotify kind of really came in first time, and that's when streaming really just started becoming a thing, I feel like.
We were talking earlier about the importance of having someone that you can run ideas with and learn from. How much of DJ Mustard have you carried into your current work?
Man, a lot. I have to be honest, like a lot, you know. Just the whole philosophy of how he used to make records, or how he still makes records, but when we worked, it was just keeping stuff simple, you know, keeping it natural. And always having hard-hitting drums and always having like a melody that just really captures you in you know, in the beat, just having a melody that's just undeniable. I'm a sucker for a great melody in the beat.
Yeah, we
you
all.
know?
I mean, that's all we buy is grooves and hooks, right?
Yeah, well, honestly, nowadays you see a lot of artists are rapping on beats with no melody in it. You know, like Valet and a couple guys, and I respect that. I love it, but sometimes I'm missing a little bit of melody. A lot of records come out with no melody, just drums.
Yeah,
they're cool too. You know,
you've been doing a lot of hip hop and had great success. Congratulations, man. Do you see a trend? Are we getting away from 75? Are we going into and now that streaming is, like you said, so popular? How is that altering what hip hop is doing? Because the hip hop community has been brilliant at taking advantage of today's technology and today's streaming.
Totally. It's changed the music, I feel like, a little bit. I feel like the album is kind of getting shied away from a little bit. But to me personally, I really feel like that's very important still. Like, I can't really fully comprehend a new artist until I hear like I might like their song, you know what I'm saying? But when I hear that album and I'm like, this makes me a real big fan, you know? So I feel like to put yourself on that Kendrick level, Travis Scott, you know, you gotta have a great album. The Weeknd, you know, all these guys have great albums, you know?
Yeah.
And the cool songs, they come, you know, and I respect it, but like, just you know, the album's still necessary for me as a fan.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? And I enjoy working on albums too. It's fun. Like, I'm working on Ty Dolla $ign's new album, and just the whole way, it's just like a whole piece. You know what I mean? It's just makes it interesting.
You've got a long history with him.
Yeah.
You're his guy.
Yeah. We've worked for a long time. It's been a fun ride, honestly.
Yeah. How's Purple Emojis doing?
Purple Emoji, super sick song. You know, that song we recorded in New York at Electric Lady.
Oh, cool.
Probably one of my favorite studios in New York for sure. The vibe is crazy.
Yeah.
And it was, you know, the thing about that song is like, it kind of shows the still, you know, I have a studio in my house and I work from my house a lot.
Yeah, I've seen pictures of it. It looks beautiful.
Thank you. Man.
I don't recall you inviting me by.
Hey, you come by anytime.
Yeah, now that you're on camera.
Yeah.
The old boy Dave before that.
You're right. I'm my bad. But Ty still likes going to the big studios. He comes to my house too. We recorded at my house and make some songs and stuff there. But J. Cole, we went to New York and we in Studio A or whatever, J. Cole in Studio B, and they both share a live room. So one of my other homie, Tunji Ige, he was in the studio with us and he's like, yo, J. Cole in the other control room, all by himself. And we're just like, what? So Ty heard that. Ty, I know how he thinks. He's like, okay, let me go in the live room, just pretend like I'm just playing around on the piano. So he's just doing that. And then J. Cole, see Ty, he's like, oh shit. He come in there and that's just basically how that record came about. Like, that was a real organic record all together in the studio doing it. Like, we were recording the song as we saw J. Cole, and he came in and heard like the early version of it. He's like, oh, this is fire. Did his verse 20 minutes. And J. Cole's a real cool guy, man. Like, really humble, really down to earth. Like, I can appreciate that in a big artist, you know?
Yeah.
He's asking us questions about what equipment we using, you know, how you do the ad-libs like that, what plugin is that, you know, so I could tell he was really into his sound.
And what did you say to him?
I showed him, I'm like, this is CLA vocals, this is my preset, bro, you could have it, like, you know.
CLA vocals, I kind of use that too much sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, on the ad-libs, you know, it's for me, like, Ty showed me that actually, and I know he got that from somebody else, but like, that's how it is, you know, everybody, when you working, you just taking what you like from this person, you leaving that, what you don't like from them, you know, so.
Would you say that, and if I'm getting in dangerous territory, stop me, but would you say that Purple Emojis is something that we can expect on the new album that's coming out? Because you finished the album, I think.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm not into control of making those calls. You know, I don't know. I would think so. You know, that's just like the first kind of record that he's dropped. Hopefully it makes, you know, hopefully it's on there. I mean, I don't know. You know, it's a cool record. I'm sure it will be. Yeah.
But is the record a lot? Is it gonna be some features and?
Oh, his new album. Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm not gonna say none of the features, but like. It's crazy. You know, Ty is known for his features, so he calling in the favor on this one. He's getting all those same guys back on his record, and I'm super proud of this record. Like, I can't wait for it to come out and people see it. Like, people have no idea how hard we worked on that. And Ty himself, like, he's a real visionary. Like, he knows exactly like what he wants. Like, I don't want to give away too much of his process, but like he had the whole album done in his mind already before we even recorded one song. And to me, I think that was so cool because it gave you a box to kind of work. And I think, you know, we always want to be outside of the box, but you kind of like have a little bit of a blueprint to kind of make stuff for it, you know?
So you said that there's an art to low end. There's an art. The art of low end is the way you express it. And that kind of caught my attention because I feel myself that it really is an art because it basically defines a whole category of music, you know? No low end, no hip hop.
No way.
And manipulating and being good with low end, not everybody does it like you do. What's your philosophy on low end and what is the art of low end?
To me, I mean, the low end itself in a song, there's so many pieces that's art, but that is just like, it's kind of hard to hold on to, you know what I mean? Because it's like, I don't know, I've just been obsessed with it for whatever reason. Like, I don't know if it's growing up where I grew up and listening to the music, like it was a big thing, but the real art form to me is just like, certain records, when you hear it and you hear the low end, it hits you a certain way where you just, I don't know if it's because of the low end frequency, like it actually like moves your body, like it's just something about it. Like great low end on like a decent record, it can help it, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, obviously a great record with great low end, it's like, forget it, like, you know? And
it's like the right amount of heat in a dish of food, you know?
Exactly.
It's not heat to be hot, it's heat to enhance the flavor. And that's what
you could overcook it too. You gotta be careful because it's easy to overcook it.
Yeah, I've been known to get a little distorted sometimes with my
it
low end.
happens, you know, it happens when you're trying to go for that big low end. You know, you gotta watch out.
The problems I tend to have, well, let's don't call them problems, but the things that I try to solve in every mix are having the bass and the kick and the 808 play happy, you know? And sometimes it takes me a minute. It'll take me 30 minutes sometimes to get that working. And I use a lot of side chainings, but instead of side chaining the whole bass coming up and down, I just side change the frequencies that I want to get out of the way of the 808 or the kick. What are some of your techniques for getting it to sound good?
To me, side chaining, I used to be really into it, but I don't know if it's because I got like a new computer or something, but I have Pro Tools Native. And I'm noticing that there's like a delay problem when I'm sending a send from my kick to trigger something else. It's not locking up right for me nowadays. Like I feel like—
Is it late?
It's late. Well, actually it's early. It's early. It's weird. And I was looking into it and they said on a native system, like there is no delay compensation for the sends. So that really, man.
That's a headline.
Yeah.
But you could make a copy of that track and lay it back.
You could do that. You could figure out the samples and stuff like that.
Or just do it by ear.
Yeah. So I've kind of been like using other DAWs to do side chaining for that, which is a real big pain in the ass, honestly. But other than that, just like, you know, I would only do that for like a bass or something like that. But like if you have an 808 and a kick, you know, it's just about finding, first of all, the proper sample. You know what I mean? Like, and thankfully, like a lot of these producers that I'm working with, they're giving me good samples, you know what I mean? A good, solid foundation to work with. But if you don't have that, it makes it hard. So you either gonna have to replace the kick or
add to it or something.
Sometimes I'll replace the kick, I'll mix the whole song and I'll be like, oh shit, I gotta go back to the original, like something about it. So that's why it's such an art form too, because there's no 808s are the same. You know what I mean? Like there's, just cause you got an 808, it could sound great, it could sound terrible, maybe you want it to sound terrible. You know what I mean? Like a record like XXX, Look at Me Now. Like I love that song so much. And then the whole fact that the whole song's so distorted like that, like I felt like it was just like, damn, these kids don't give a fuck. And like, I respect that. Like I thought it was really cool. So I like when people just do something different, you know what I mean? Like, but it's all about the blend, the way, you know, and that's why I like to mix with a pretty decent amount of master plugins on my master, because all these, to me, at least the relationships of these frequencies and the whole song changes so much. If you, you know, you might crank up something to kind of push your whole mix a little hotter, and now your kick is hitting a little harder, but it might be a little distorted. So then you bring your whole mix down a little bit, but it's not hitting the same way. So
Yeah, exactly.
there's something to it, just listening and
Everything's
knowing
a
where you're going.
compromise. Everything's a compromise.
So you got to figure what means the most to you. And for me, most of the times it's the low end.
Yeah, absolutely. I like a smiley curve with a volcano in the middle. So I like exaggerated low end, exaggerated top end, but a mid range that'll hurt you if you turn it up too loud.
Crazy.
I don't like
interesting
people
way
to
to
sit
say
in
it,
the
a
room
volcano.
when my mixes comes along. So let me read you some credits on Beach House 3. James Royo, composer, drum programming, engineer, mix engineer, producer, programmer, chief bottle washer. Dude, leave something for the other people.
They left
there
out
to-
photographer too. I took some videos for that
okay.
too. So
Okay.
I don't know. I need some more credits for that.
So do you consider yourself a producer that mixes or a mixer that produces?
I would say
Or
more.
you don't even consider yourself, you just
Yeah, I
make
don't
it-
really like think about it, but like my strong suit is definitely mixing. I feel like I'm
like a producer.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I've always surrounded myself. I started off producing, and then I went to school for engineering, and I interned at a
Full Sail,
studio.
right?
No, I went to SAE in Miami.
Oh, okay.
So I went to school. After I got into producing, I thought I was producing. I was just making beats in my room with Reason, you know what I mean? And then I went to school and kind of saw how the whole process of making a record kind of works. And I feel like I don't really try to, I don't want to pigeonhole myself into a mixer or a producer. Like, I feel like I'm really good at both.
In
you know what I
today's
mean?
world, you don't have to.
But you know what? A lot of people aren't thinking in today's world. They're thinking back.
Yeah.
So I gotta, I don't want them to think the wrong thing about me. So I just try to do both the best that I can, and I try to do what I do well. You know what I mean? I don't try to sit here and play this grand piano and go crazy. That's not what I do as a producer. I know some great pianists.
Yeah.
I'd rather have them come play on my record.
Heck yeah.
And I'll do the drums. And then, you'll understand it.
Speaking of drum programming, you reprogrammed the drums on Ty Dolla $ign's Love You Better. Why did you do that, and how did you get away with it? Were you in the mix process, or did Ty say you needed to improve?
I didn't even do the final mix of that song, but I was working on it with him. And some producers and some songs, that to me, they put the 808 almost an octave too high. And it obviously depends on the record and the whole sound. So for that one, I was just like, man, we should try to go an octave lower with that. And that was just me really just, like I said, I want, it's an art form. I wanted that to be the most beautiful piece of art, beautiful low-end art. And I just kind of added my sounds in there, but everything was already done, you know what I mean? So that was just a real simple and easy song to just, hey, why don't we try this 808 at this octave? And I liked it.
Do you ever find yourself needing to tune an 808? I find
It's funny,
about 1 out of every 10 mixes I have to put it in tune.
Sometimes, it's funny, man. I've mixed songs with the wrong 808 note in there,
Like Dram Cha Cha. That 808 was so out of tune.
That's what I'm saying.
And I loved it being out of tune.
That's what I'm saying.
Perfect.
So, sometimes it really bothers me. Sometimes it doesn't. I mean, it depends on the mix, my relationship with the person I'm mixing for. If I feel confident enough, like I feel confident in myself, but if I feel confident in the relationship, I'll maybe redo the 808. You know what I'm saying? And see how they feel about it. If they don't like it, they don't like it. You know what I mean?
That's a really, really important sentence and statement. If you feel confident in the relationship, that's what all us mixers and producers and writers strive for. We want that trust from the artists and the creative people involved, and then we give them trust too. A lot of times, as a mixer, we might have a different concept than the producer. But you have to trust the producer, and then as you progress in the mix, you see, oh, okay, I get it now, and stuff. So it's a trust that is vital for the enhancement of creativity. The pitch thing. We've evolved with tempo. There was a time when Muscle Shoals and some of the great centers of music were known for their feel, and feel is not perfect timing. It's advanced perfect timing. And right now it feels to me like we're still stuck with tuning. We still haven't figured out the beauty of tuning that's a little bit
out of tune. That's interesting.
And then
I was just listening on my way over here, Kid Cudi, Day and Night.
Yeah.
There's no auto-tune on that.
Yeah.
And that's kind of sick. I don't know.
Well, it removes a part of the emotional elements that a performance can give you, the perfection.
Yeah.
When I was working on when I mixed Be Without You with Mary J, there was some tuning done on that, and she made us not use it, and the performance was clearly better. And so I would ask her, is it okay if I just touch this word a little bit or that word? And she was cool with that. But I learned a lot from that lady. She's more than just one of our great performers and artists, but she really, really has a grasp on who she is musically and creatively. And that opened my mind to tuning. And I think in the future we'll start getting to where we can manipulate tuning like we manipulate timing, you know?
Yeah, I feel you. That'd be interesting. I think it just gives such a robotic sound right now. Maybe that's why they got to figure out a way to kind of tone that down.
So when you're creating, you're mixing in Pro Tools mostly.
Yes.
When you're creating, what's your DAW of choice?
Right now, it always changes over the years, just like everybody, is FL Studio for sure. I definitely love the sound of FL Studio.
The drums and that are nice.
Yeah, I know people, there's so many arguments online that it's exactly the same, every DAW is the same.
No, it's not.
But to my ears, I don't know what it is. Like, FL's just sounding how I want it to sound. You know what I mean? Which is all I care about. You know what I mean? So I use Ableton also. Ableton does things that FL can't. But for me, when I do the drums in FL, I feel the most confident. Like, this shit is hitting how I want it to hit,
Yeah. Ableton's probably one of the more creative tools.
For sure. You can drag an audio thing into Ableton and it turns into MIDI.
Yeah.
You can't do that in FL that I know about right now.
And I like Logic for songwriting, creating, that sort of stuff. I know there's a lot of writers use that.
Yeah, I mean, I just mixed a song last night. Guys did it in Logic and it sounds great. You know what I mean? Like, it sounds dope. It's just really what works for you, I think, One of my favorite things you've done so far,
Don't Tell Him, Jeremiah.
Yes.
Dude, that was a huge song.
That was a huge song.
And how did that come about? And how did you get there's something about when that song comes on my iPhone or on my computer, it's just right there.
Yeah.
And I can't ignore it. I can't get away from it.
Yeah. That was my intention the whole time mixing that song. It was a very simple song, probably drum, main synth sound, and the vocal. Yeah. So I just wanted everything to kind of sound dope, just like every song, So for that one, I mean, I used a lot of UAD plugins. That's when I first got into UAD plugins, actually. Because I came from the era where the SSL board and all the equipment, that was a big part of everything, So I got a chance to
made a lot of decisions for us that we didn't know we
exactly
made.
It did, 100%, because it sounds so cool and awesome. You're like, oh man, I'm a dope engineer, but now you just got a good compressor.
Now we got a thing.
Yeah, so I came up with that sound, and that song was like me really getting into UAD plugins. I actually rented. I remember I had the label rent me. You could rent plugins for the day because I didn't have none. So I rented them, and I mixed that song at Chalice, and I just honestly just tried my best, man. My homie Sycamore, the A&R for that project, he gave it to me. He's like, "Yo, do your thing," and Jeremiah loved it.
Did you intentionally try to get frequencies that the vocal occupied out of the way of the vocal, or was it like a real cool compression technique on the vocal?
What do you mean?
To get that vocal to sit.
To sit so. To me, for what that was at the time, what I was thinking, I probably know better now. It was just about the mid-range and the lower mids being as full as possible. I was using the Neve 33102 or whatever, the EQ, and I remember just boosting that, and I wanted to feel real full and real like, I didn't want it to be thin. I didn't want a thin vocal for that song. I want a real full-sounding vocal, and not much reverb back then. I was really working with YG a lot and Mustard, and at that time with the sound, it was very dry. You know what I'm saying? We were all about dry vocal. So I kept it kind of dry for that. I added a couple of delays, but it was really just about being dry and like you said, keeping all the other stuff out the way for the vocals and that synth line, really.
It sure was. That was in my reference folder for a long time. That mix sounded so good.
Yeah, but listening back to stuff, I'm always like, shit, I could have done this better, that better. But I'm not like regretful at all, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like at the time, that was the moment for that and it worked perfectly, you know?
Yeah, for sure. I've done some mixing for Mariah, and what was your experience on Caution? I love what you did with that. It's a dark mix.
Well, I didn't mix that record actually.
Oh, you didn't?
I recorded Ty's vocals on it.
Oh, okay.
So I never even got to meet Mariah, honestly.
Oh, okay.
And they were that was like working
mixed
with
it,
the
Dion?
president.
We should give him a compliment.
Yeah, I'm not sure to be quite
It was
honest.
really nice.
I'm not exactly sure. It probably was Jason, but I'm not sure, honestly.
Jason Joshua?
Yeah.
Oh,
I think it was. But I'm not sure. Skrillex produced it. He actually came by and we like worked on it all together except for Mariah, which was cool, you know, rather than just being by
that
ourselves.
makes sense because Jay and I did Touch My Body,
Okay.
Tricky Stewart and Dream, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
Do you do when you're working with a pop singer, particularly a female singer? What do you do different when you're recording that as opposed to, say, recording a rapper, a male rapper? Do you change your chain? Do you change your do you change your approach?
Not really, honestly, not really.
What's your go-to vocal chain?
For me, it kind of depends because I have like a studio setup. If we go to big record plant or something, you know, I'll use their equipment, you know, but then I have my house, I have all in the box setup. And I prefer mine, but I kind of just use the out of the box when we go to studio. So when I'm in the box, I got the, I don't even want to say the mic because I know I'm going to get shit for it. It's only like $200-300, but it's an MXL mic and it sounds amazing. Like it competes with the C800 for me. You know what I mean?
Okay. Well, let me be the first to give you some crap for that. Okay. Do you mind?
Nah, I know it's coming. So it's all right. I'll take it. I stand strong
You know
behind
what?
it.
We were talking back in the green room, and it seems like on my big records, there was always something that was unique or different, or some people would call it wrong, or some people would call it this or that or the other. But it was those little warts that people fell in love with on the song. Like we were talking about when I did All My Life, the kick drum is just wrong loud, but that's what people liked about the song.
Yeah.
So listen, my friend, you know we're buds, but at this point in time, I got to challenge you to a game of batter's box. You up for it?
Yeah, I'm down.
Okay, you know the rules, right?
Okay.
So I'm gonna move fast.
Okay.
Well, I might win this one for various reasons that may become obvious in a moment.
Okay.
Compressor.
Our compressor, for sure. Number one compressor.
Stereo bus.
I'm going to say API 2500, and I'm going to say invisible limiter.
Ooh. Good, man. You're good. Reverb.
Reverb, obviously, I'm not going to say D-Verb. I use D-Verb all the time. But one of my favorites is the Ultra Verb Eventide.
Really?
Plugin. You ever use that one?
No, we'll talk about it in a minute, though, for sure.
It's
synth
unique.
bass. Synth bass.
Synth bass, the Moog.
Okay.
Yeah, the Moog for sure. Well, I mean, obviously, I don't even have one, but they got the plugins of it, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, it's pretty dope.
Cool. Vocals.
Vocals, I would say fast release on the compressor. You know, I love that. And even a slow attack, like let the transients come through. You know, I feel like just fast release, you don't have to do a slow attack, but fast release, it just like brings the excitement out in the vocal. And like so many people, I get mixes all the time with the LA2A on the vocal, and it's cool, I get it, but like, I just take that shit off sometimes, and it's like, damn, okay, now the vocal's popping back how I want it.
You're doing something right. All right, man, let's speed it up. Preamps.
UAD, for sure.
Which one?
The Neve, the UAD Neve.
Yeah, that's mine too.
In the box.
Guitars.
Guitars, Guitar Rig, for sure. My favorite plugin. Waves GTR is cool, but Guitar Rig is the best.
Sample packs.
Reddit. That's a real gem for y'all out there, for sure.
Reddit?
Reddit, yeah. You know, like the forum website?
Yeah.
That's you know, that's where you get your real samples at, for sure.
That is a headline. What's the least expensive, cheapest piece of gear you've used on a record that we might know?
I recorded a couple songs on Ty Dolla $ign Beach House with the Focusrite, you know, the little Focusrite 2-channel interface, which is like $200.
Wow.
Yeah.
You like things for $200.
I don't know what it is. If it's like over 200, it's like, I don't get it. You know, I don't know what it is. I could make it work for 200. Why not? I'll give somebody $200 for it. It's cool.
This is normally where I ask Herb if I won, so I'm going to veer off a little bit. I'm going to yell, so everybody in the control booth get ready. Talisha, did I win or lose?
Damn, you just got all these yes men over here
All
with
right.
you, bro.
So I was going to come back to something. Help me here. We were going to talk about, reverb. We were going to talk about the Eventide.
Oh, the Eventide, yeah, it's unique. That's why I like it, because it doesn't sound like anything else. So I'm rocking with it for sure.
Right now, everybody's stuck on
Valhalla.
Vintage
Yeah.
Room.
It's cool too. I like to use different reverbs in the song, for different reasons.
I've been getting good stuff with the reverb by Isotope called Symphony.
Okay, I haven't tried that.
It's a little expensive, but it's
more than $200.
Probably not right in that range.
I'm just playing.
But yeah, you got me on that. But it does a lot of stuff. So it's like getting a lot of things in one. So we got Ty Dolla $ign's new album come out. Say hello for me. I'm a big fan of his. I think Herb and his father are friends.
Really? Yeah. His father came in to the studio many times and played on the records before. And
I'd be remiss if I didn't say shout out to Jeff Aldrich, our man over there at AAM.
That's crazy.
So what's next? After Ty, what do you got?
So just mixing more singles for some guys. I like working with a lot of up-and-coming guys. Last year I mixed Matt Ox's album.
Oh, okay.
I'm mixing this kid Smoogie Margella's album. All my interns are young kids. I like to stay around. I've been doing this a while. You've been doing it a while too.
Yeah.
So you know how important it is to stay fresh.
Yeah.
Because what we think is wrong for young kids, it's right. So it's like, and they're the ones buying the record. So we need to be very in tune with what they're doing. You know what I mean?
You make an effort to keep up. And
Absolutely. I'm listening to everything that's coming out. I'm all the producers and the interns and stuff that I work with. They're young kids, usually younger than me, and I'm paying attention. And I'm not discrediting anything they're saying. I might in my head say, "Oh, I don't know," but like I'm listening. I'm gonna give it a shot and I'm gonna listen. And it takes me to the fact that I actually started my own label now too. An indie label, and that's just me but me being in tune with what's going on right now. And
let me stop you. Let's talk about Coyote Orange.
Orange Coyote.
I like Coyote Orange.
Really?
No, I'm messing with it.
I'm like, fuck, I'm gonna change it.
I was trying to cover for a mistake. You caught me. But this is the first I heard about the label. Tell me about it.
It's basically me coming up with this idea that I want to develop new artists that I really can get behind. And I was blessed enough to find this kid from Dallas, Lil Cobain. And I love unique new shit. And he is just bringing everything that I love. And I love great songwriters and great songs. And that's just what I'm into. So I also felt like it was just time. Like I've worked so much for big labels and stuff. It's cool. Obviously it's great. We all making money. But there's something about like putting out your own stuff that's like kind of, it's dope to me. You know what I'm saying? And like, it also just makes me a better producer, a better engineer, because I'm like looking at shit in a different way. And I'm seeing how important all the other factors than, I did a great mix, I did a great beat, all the other factors that come into play to making a successful artist, which is, the internet and social media and Spotify and stuff like that.
Before we wrap up, what type of artists are you looking for, and how can they get in touch with you to submit some material?
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking for dope songs. You got to be a great songwriter for me to be like, take your music serious. I'm not like attracted to stuff that's just like gimmicky. Like if you have a great melody with your song, I could get into it. Something that made me, when I hear it, I have to feel like, get the goosebumps that we all love to get, I want to feel something in my soul when I hear your music. So the guys that I mess with now, I felt that in my soul. So I'm like, hey, let's work together, And it's been a fun ride.
Well, listen, thank you so much, my friend.
Yes.
You're great.
Thank you for having me.
I knew you would be. And let's stay in touch a little more than we have in the past, because we're a couple Florida boys,
Yes, gotta represent.
I'm gonna ask you a question, and this will be the wrap up for the show. If you could leave our audience with one piece of advice that's from your past that helped you go from SAE all the way to where you are now, what would that important thing be? What was the most important thing?
There's so many different things, but I think for an engineer, working with a great producer is the number one thing. You can't, that's the way to make it, I feel like. And I'm giving you all this crazy gem right now because somebody told me this back in the day and I'm here now talking to you. Mm-hmm. So that's all it is. Just work with a great producer as an engineer, and as a producer, be unique.
Yeah, I got my start at a studio that was owned by a songwriter, and I think that's really helped me a lot
Yeah,
too.
exactly.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, James, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed that. I learned a lot. Hope you learned a lot. And like I say every week, we'll see you next week.